What to say about Tom Brady and the Super Bowl, winning his seventh title? Is um, it's so much you can say about it. Um, you can love the guy, you can hate it. I really don't understand why there's people out there that actually hate it. When, as far as I know, the guy's he's a pretty down to earth person. I can say at least he's a much better character than a lot of other people in the NFL that I've seen. They have done way much less than what he has done. But anyways, it's not very common to see someone like Tom Brady. It's not very common to see someone that has that. I don't want to say out of this world, and I don't like when people say, "Oh, this guy is it's a prodigy. He's a natural. He was born like that." Because usually when people talk about, "Oh, he's a natural. He's out of this world," it's very easy to make those kind of comments when you don't know what's behind it. When you don't know what's behind years and years. In the case of Tom Brady, it's decades. We're talking about so many years of training. You don't know. This guy, obviously, one thing I can tell you is just like people like Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and all those good players that the Cowboys had in the days, and the Jordans and Scottie Pippens and all those players, and the Roger Federers and Nadal and all those athletes that are like super successful. It's not really very difficult to find what's the difference. They train harder, their focus is much better when they train. They have they have an intention, they have a very clear idea of what they want. But I think that we all can have that. You can create that from being comfortable in your home and sitting in the couch and just closing your eyes and say and having a conversation with yourself and say, okay, let's have a clear intention of what we have. Let's put things in perspective. This is what I have to do to become the person that I want to be, whatever it is, and I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to go the extra mile and all that. Anyone can do that. Very few people in the world have the willpower to get out of bed every morning and say, I'm gonna put the work. I'm gonna do what it takes to become that person that I want to be. And it's fascinating seeing people like Tom Brady that are super successful that say, hey, you know what? I just imagine someone coming up to him when he was 20 or 15 and saying, when you're 42 or 43, by then you're gonna have 6 Super Bowls, and you're gonna leave your team that was like nobody could even, nobody could see you or imagine that you will go to another team and win the Super Bowl for a brand new team in the first, in within the first 1 or 2 seasons that you're with them. You're gonna be 42 or you're gonna be 43, and you're gonna get to your 7th Super Bowl, and you're still gonna have you're still gonna be hungry for 1 or 2 more years playing. I mean, this guy is well past his 40s. If you're not the kind of person that can sit down for a couple of minutes and really put those things in perspective, you're not seeing. This is like books, encyclopedias, tips, advice that life is throwing at us and saying, you can learn, and you can learn from other people, and you can see that there are a lot of things that they sound impossible. They're just impossible because that's a label that we stupid humans put on it. And the truth is that it's just you gotta have that kind of mentality. You gotta be able to read the stories and see what happens around you, and not looking at it just like you're reading it on the newspaper and talking about it with your friends emotionally, with the first things that come to your mind. You got to be able to sit down and say, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I get from this? And if you have the will and the desire to really digest and break apart the roots, what's behind that story, what did this guy do, how did it all started, it's fascinating. You're gonna find more and more things that these people do, the way they are, the way they think, the way they behave, the way they look at life, their perspective, their perceptions, the way they approach reject and failure is just so different. It's just so we look at it and it's easy. We look at it and it's easy not to let it pass, and it's difficult when you really pay more attention to it and you try to understand, because for average people like us, we can really, if we don't put the effort of sitting down and really trying to appreciate the story, it's just gonna look more and more of an unbelievable thing to understand. I was looking at Brady last night and I was just thinking, I said, these guys, they get so high above the rest of us in the way they train, in the effort. Then it's not that they are superior. They're not an alien species that came to Earth and they're doing all this. They're just like you and me, but the way they think is way above and beyond what people like us, the way we see life. And that's why it's laughable when I hear people, like I see it in the videos, in I put my tennis videos and people watch them, and it's funny how I can say something about mentality or a video about mentality, and when you see the views on the videos, that is all technique and training, and the videos and it does not only mine, even from other people around the internet, you see when they talk about mentality, and many times they don't have that nearly has many views, because we all think there is a lot of people out there that think like, oh, that's mindset. I don't. At the moment they hear that mentality, mindset, psychology, they just dismiss it, and you dismiss it, and that's, you don't know it, but that's the moment that you're totally accepting the fact that that you want to keep being the same person that you are. You don't want to change. You don't want to create that shift in your head. Like they say, matter doesn't change matter. It's not only training on the court. It's not only studying like crazy and all that is gonna change. It's you need to train your mind. It's in reality the change starts up here. If you struggle with a change in your body because you're lazy, well, the first step that you have to do in order to change like laziness is the way you think. So anyways, it's just my advice to say, you know what, it's good to look at these stories and try to dissect them. It's kind of like doing an autopsy to it and see what's behind the great story. Okay, all right, I hope you like it, guys. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Thank you.